It was a busy show, and the movie was The Silence of the Lambs. I didn't know much about it, and I hadn't read the book. All I knew was that my buddy had told me that it was gnarly, and that we had to go. And then, when the time came, he canceled on me an hour before the movie started, and I just decided to go by myself. There wasn't an empty seat in the house, though. The commercials had started as I made my way down the aisle and squeezed along the row to my seat. A few mutters and mumbles from the moviegoers I squished past, and then I finally just jumped in my seat. Now, the guy next to me was wearing a very thick old coat and what I actually recognized to be a Tribbley, even though it was spring and the theater was fairly stuffy. I apologized for bumping into him, and I thought that I heard some sort of grunt or belch or whatever. Gross. And so I just sat there, and my God, the guy's body odor was not pleasant. I took a deep inhale of my popcorn and hoped that would help. And by the time the movie started, it had got easier to just ignore the guy. Now, Silence of the Lambs starts off as a very tense movie and only gets more tense from there. Occasionally, I felt my theater neighbor's shoulder brush against mine and kind of nudge him back over to the left. I couldn't hear any snoring, but I was sure that I could feel the occasional vibration of a snore at least. And in the end, as the movie got more and more terrifying and gripping, the act of nudging the guy off my shoulder became kind of instinct. I ate my popcorn and nachos, finished my soda, and I somehow made it through the whole movie without having to get up and use the bathroom, which was great, because imagine how many people it would have made angry in a crowded theater. And that's why, when the movie ended, and I'm stuck there in the middle of the center aisle, surrounded on all sides by crowds, I decided to just wait it out. I watched all the credits until the lights started to go up, and it looked like I had a clear path to the right from which I could actually exit. But the next one was still there. I didn't want to just leave him there asleep, and it would kind of suck if he missed the entire movie too. So I gave him a tap on the shoulder saying, "Hey buddy, you okay?" Now, I'm sure you Let's Read listeners have worked out the twist here. As I gently nudged his shoulder, the man, or should I say his body, slumped over to the left and his hat fell off. In the rising lights of the theater, I could see it now. This dude was dead. D.A.D. Absolutely stone cold dead. I don't mean he dropped dead in the last 10 minutes either. I mean, I'd clearly been sitting next to a corpse for the entire showing of that movie, so how did he make a sound? Why was I sure that I could hear and feel him? Now, cops kind of explained this to me later. When I first nudged him, I likely just caused some gas to escape his body. And during the point of decomposition he was at, the body starts to bloat with gas, which could have caused the vibration and the occasional feeling of him moving. I never did get to find out exactly what happened to the guy. They were able to tell me enough that the cause of death wasn't suspicious, so I just kind of replied with natural causes. And the cop looks a bit weird and says that he can't really say anymore. And for a while that kind of bothered me. How can you die in a non-suspicious manner, but not of natural causes? And that kind of stuck with me. This old guy had gone to that theater alone, likely taken some kind of overdose, and allowed himself to just sort of drift off peacefully in his sleep. What he took, I don't know, because fatal overdoses are usually messy, painful, and ugly. But clearly he got hold of something that let him die peacefully during the previous showing of The Silence of the Lambs. It always bothered me how he wasn't discovered by a theater employee in between the showings. He had possibly been sitting there for 3 showings of that damn movie, and nobody noticed but me. I mean, it wasn't the cleanest theater, but good God, did they not even check the screens between showings? And the final thing that bothers me is, why did he choose The Silence of the Lambs as the final thing he ever saw? It's not exactly a nice movie to just sort of slip away to. Maybe it was the only movie showing that was relatively empty when he got there, which would have been that afternoon, I guess. Maybe there was something in the film he related to. Maybe he was simply haunted by his own lens, but he needed the silence.